As always, I am Mason. He is not Mason, and we are here to talk about some off-season baseball. How are you today, not Mason?
Well, I'm still recovering from the Bears loss, but I'm good. I'm excited for winter meetings this week and excited to talk baseball with you.
Well, nice. So what should we call you this week? Because I can't imagine not Mason is really what you want to be known as.
You can call me Alec Manoah for the week.
Alec Manoah? Okay.
Yeah.
So Alec Manoah and I are going to talk a little bit about some signings that have already occurred, a couple of trades. There's been a few interesting trades, I think, to say the least. And then we have a little bit of a game that we're going to play with some of the remaining free agents. So we'll get to that here after we do a little rundown of some things that have happened. I think we should probably start with the absolute biggest news of the offseason, and that is that the Angels have signed Alec Manoah to a $1.95 million one-year deal. How do you think this is going to work out for the Angels?
Huge. It's going to work out great. I mean, this is the lowest risk signing you can possibly make, and the payoff is actually extremely high. If they can somehow figure out how to get the original version that reached the major leagues like super quickly and basically started dominating from day one of his major league career for like a year and a half or maybe into that second full season, he was looking phenomenal. And then ever since then, he sort of has been on a downhill slide for years around injuries and just, I don't know what the deal
is. The yips, I think. Like,
yips,
it almost has to be the yips.
But it's one of those things where it's like, this truly could be one of the best signings of the offseason because we've seen the talent. It's somewhere in there. And it's not like this guy's washed. He's not old. He's, how old is
he's going
Alex
into
Manoah?
his age 28 season.
Okay, he's 28. So he's like young for a pitcher. There aren't many other 28-year-old starting pitchers available on the market.
And his arm is not taxed.
No.
At all. He was.
So I like it.
He was not in the minors for very long. Even I believe minor leagues. 2019, he pitched 17 innings in low A in 2019. He was not even at the alternate site in 2020. Well, he might have been at the alternate site. I don't think they actually list that on Fangraphs, do they? Yeah. But then about 18 innings in 2021 at AAA, and then he made his major league debut. And he's got 420 innings at the major leagues. So this guy does not have much mileage on his arm. If he can just figure something out and get kind of in that realm of like it's mid 3 ERA and about 9 to 10 Ks per 9, he would be a solid starter for the Angels. And really, that's all they need him to be. They don't need him to be that rookie season or second year 2.24 ERA, 4 WAR guy over 200 innings, because that's likely not who he is.
Yeah, so that's fine. But anything they get can beat that salary, basically.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he could be negative value, and he's as long as he pitches some innings, he's still going to be worth 1.95 mil.
Yeah, and that's a good point about the 200 innings. Like, he reached that. That's incredibly impressive in these days.
196. But
okay, but really
pretty freaking close.
Still. Speaking of that innings total, a guy that signed the biggest deal of free agency so far has never reached 190 innings in his entire career, and that's Dylan Cease.
So let's talk about that, because Alec Manoah was with the Jays, was in their system for the last couple years, didn't actually pitch in 2025 at the major league level due to some injuries and things. Toronto had a pretty good rotation last year. They almost went to the promised land of winning the World Series. They came within a couple innings of it. And so they went out and they decided that, you know what? We're going to try and run it back. We're going to try and win this thing. What's the boldest thing we can do? And that is to sign probably the second best, arguably maybe the best starter on the market this year, in Dylan Cease to 7 years, $210 million.
Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting that they gave him this big deal because it tells me that it's not just about the guy's ERA. We've moved well past that, where teams are not looking at Dylan Cease's 4+ ERA. They're looking at all the things that go into that ERA. Like, he throws hard, he doesn't wear down. I kind of ragged on him for not reaching the 190 inning mark, but as far as I can tell, Dylan Cease has never missed he has not missed one start in his major league career. He's made 32 or 33 starts every year, and he made 12 starts in 2020. So this guy's like
14 in 2019 when he debuted, like, in the second half of the year.
Yeah, there's not one pitcher in the league that's more durable than Dylan Cease. And what he does really well is he strikes guys out. I think he's got about a 29% strikeout rate for his entire career. He leads the majors in strikeouts since 2021. I've been following Dylan Cease for a long time, going back to 2014 when he was actually drafted by the Cubs. He
was part of the Jose Quintana trade, right?
He was, yeah. He would be the guy that I would give this contract, and it's $210 million for 7 years, with some deferred money that drops it down to like $180 million in present day value. Yeah, like, I feel better about giving this deal to Dylan Cease than I do to give like a similar deal to Framber, maybe, because I believe in velocity, even though maybe Dylan Cease goes and gets hurt this year, but I like the fact that he's been really, really healthy over time.
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you. I've got a few points that I want to make. Going back to your comment about we're not necessarily just looking at his ERA. They're kind of looking at his FIP, because his FIP is pretty much always consistent at 3.5 to 3.6 every single year. His ERA, there's a lot of things that factor into that he can't control. So yeah, they're not looking into that. And he has not reached 190 innings, but he's reached 189 and a third, and 184 and 177. So like, he's consistently pitching in the top like 20 pitchers in the league as far as innings every single season. The other point that I want to make is, yes, I believe in velocity. Velocity is incredibly important in this day's MLB. I still think personally I might take Framber at this money or a little higher, because while Framber doesn't have this velocity, the thing that does always play well is pinpoint control and being able to keep the ball down. And when I was trying to pick apart Framber in last episode, it was so difficult because the only thing that was really like going against him as he aged was that his ground ball rate was turning into a little bit less of a ground ball rate.
Yeah.
Kind of line drives. Like, he wasn't increasing fly balls. It was just, instead of being -12 launch angle, it was -2. Like, I kind of think that plays longer into your career than velocity does. You can't learn velocity. So yes, Cease has that for him, is you can't learn that. But Framber has a head start on the rest. So over the 7 years, I feel more comfortable with Framber. In the first half of the deal, Cease, hands down.
Yeah. And one more point on Cease with the ERA, like great point about the FIP being so good. FIP is way more predictive than ERA for your next season's performance. Um, Sometimes things go really well, and Dylan Cease has showed that. He's finished top 5 in Cy Young voting 2 times in the last 5 years. So I don't know, like he spins the ball well, he throws hard. Maybe they add like a splitter and Dylan Cease wins the Cy Young next year. That's not going to be shocking to me. That could happen.
No, that's not shocking to me either. I think Cease's profile certainly goes up against maybe a Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens a little bit better than Framber does. If you're trying to look at like, this is the type of pitcher that dominates and gets Cy Young love, Cease is going to be closer to that.
The comp that I've always used for Dylan Cease is he's the right-handed Blake Snell. So like when he gets hot and when he gets on a run, he's striking out more than 30% of guys. Sometimes he struggles with walks, control, and command, but he's got all the tools to be like a Blake Snell. He just hasn't probably put it together in the same way that Snell has.
That's fair. Well, and some of it was they were in the same rotation for a year too, so or a year and a half or something like that. So they kind of got
similar.
Yeah. So, and I believe Blake Snell won a Cy Young with Cease on the roster with him, right? Because 24, or was that 23?
Did Snell win the 24 Cy Young? He might have, but he was on the Giants that year.
No, because Skubal won it back to back, right?
But yeah, but Skubal's in the other league.
Oh yeah, that's right. And Skeens didn't win it in his rookie season. No. He just won Rookie of the Year.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh God, I don't remember. I think it was Snell that won it. But
I'll look that up. You keep talking.
All right. But yeah, so I love this signing for the Jays. So the Jays obviously made the biggest, fanciest splash in the starting pitching market so far this offseason. But they're not the only team in the AL East to make a big splash. The Boston Red Sox went out and decided that, you know what? We weren't good enough this year. The Cardinals have a very good but aging ace in Sonny Gray. They're trying to get younger. They're trying to shed payroll with Chaim Bloom coming in, who they are very familiar with, by the way. And Chaim Bloom is very familiar with their system. So what did they do? They worked out a trade to get Sonny Gray to Boston for Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark coming back to the Cardinals. So the Cardinals got some young, good pitchers. The Red Sox got a bona fide number 2 in Sonny Gray to go with Garrett Crochet. And so that was their big trade. But they did also make another trade with the intent of improving their starting pitching. And that was with the Pirates. So where they got Johan Oviedo. And then I believe these next two are prospects in Tyler Samaniego and Adonis Guzman. Was I right? They're prospects?
Yes, they're prospects.
Yeah. And they gave up Josh Nixon Garcia and Jesus Travieso. So Johan Oviedo is the short-term piece there. And he's been a very solid pitcher in his career. He came from St. Louis. He was solid with St. Louis. We traded him to Pittsburgh for Quintana?
Could be.
I don't even remember anymore. But, and then he was the best pitcher in Pittsburgh for a year and a half until Paul Skeens debuted. So now he's kind of just there, but a very good depth piece for Boston.
Yep.
Got any comments on Sonny Gray or Johan Oviedo?
I'm trying to figure out where to start. Okay, so with the Sonny Gray, this is also sort of a continuation of the same idea that I talked about with Dylan Cease, where you look at Sonny Gray's 2025 ERA and it's like mid fours, and you're like, wow, like this is the big move that the Red Sox are going to make to help their rotation that obviously needs help. And then you look a little bit closer and you realize that Sonny Gray had the lowest walk rate of his career, I think, last year, and it was elite. It was like
5%.
5%, which is unreal for a guy that used to struggle a lot with walks.
Well,
Now,
and
the last 2 years, he's been at 5.7 and 5%, I think.
yeah, 5.8 and 5, while his strikeout rate has been up.
His strikeout rate is up. So if you look at one thing, K minus BB rate, that he's elite. He's one of the best pitchers in the league at maintaining a good ratio there. And he is also a guy that can spin the ball extremely well. Like he's got an elite sweeper. His fastball is not great. It kind of gets crushed. It was getting crushed last year. And I wonder now if the Red Sox will kind of try to get Sonny Gray to move even further away from his fastball and lean into those breaking pitches that work so well, because they've done that with other guys in their rotation. Thinking about Tanner Houck a couple years ago, and others that they have figured out you can succeed with throwing as few fastballs as possible and just leaning in on good pitches.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying with Framber and Dylan Cease, is you can't teach velocity. Sonny Gray is going into his age 36 season. He's on the downside of the aging curve as far as natural physical ability. His average fastball, his rookie season, was 94.3 mile an hour. That is not a world burner right there. Now, this past season is the slowest his fastball's ever been, which is why it was getting crushed, because his fastball was an average of 91.7. You're not going to blow that by a lot of guys. And if it doesn't have a ton of movement, you're not really going to trick him. So, because he doesn't have a deceptive fastball, kind of like a Jack Flaherty, where it plays 2 mile an hour faster than it really is. Like, he very much does need to lean into his breaking pitches more, and I think he will. And his ERA FIP was different by about 1 last year. Like, he was down at a 3.39 for his FIP and a 4.28 for his ERA, and that actually carried over from 24 as well. Both numbers were slightly better in 24. But Sonny Gray is pitching arguably the best that he's pitched in his career, except for maybe his rookie year and second year in Oakland.
What about that year that he went crazy with the Twins right before he signed with the Cardinals?
Well, yeah, so the last 3 years, I guess, are the best he's ever pitched. Because he's pitched 180 innings, 166, 180, missed 4 starts in 2024, but he's been just phenomenal in these last 3 years. It hasn't really worked out for him because, well, it hasn't worked out for St. Louis. So
the other tough thing for Sonny Gray is moving from super pitcher friendly Busch Stadium to Fenway. We got to keep an eye on that one.
So the one thing I'm a little worried about, if you remember, this won't be the first time Sonny Gray has been in the AL East. He actually went from Oakland and got traded to the Yankees, and everyone kind of talked about how Sonny Gray just was not good in New York, period. Which is a little bit false. He was pretty good in 2017, the year that he got traded. He had a down year in 18, and then he went to Cincinnati. So he didn't have a long tenure, but he did struggle in that 2018 season, it was probably the worst season of his career in the American League East with all those hitter-friendly parks. So this could go horribly, but that was also when he was sitting there trying to pump fastball after fastball after fastball. Did not get many strikeouts that year. It was actually the lowest strikeout rate of his career. So, and he was hurt for about, or no, he wasn't hurt. He got moved to the bullpen. So it'll be interesting to see how this works out for him, because it seems like he does perform better in smaller markets. I don't want to say just pitcher-friendly parks, because he was really good in Cincinnati. That's not a pitcher-friendly park.
Well, I got bad news for him. He's going to pitch in Boston now.
Yeah. So I'm a little, I've got mixed feelings on how I think this is going to go. I think it's a good move for Boston. I think at a minimum, you're going to get a solid veteran that can help Garrett Crochet and some of these other guys just kind of keep coaching them up. Because Garrett Crochet is one of the most talented guys in the league. He's still also very young and very new to starting, and having that guy that's done it for years and years and years is probably a good thing. So,
do you want to talk about the Cardinals side of that trade?
Not really.
So, okay. I was
mean,
just going to ask if did Chaim Bloom draft Brandon Clark? I don't know how old he is.
I honestly don't know who Brandon Clark is.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you about Brandon Clark. He's a lefty starting pitcher.
Drafted in 24.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't a Chaim Bloom pick, but
no.
Anyways, basically he is a very hard throwing left-handed starter, and he was quickly moving through their system. He kind of ran into some trouble in the higher levels of the minors. He struggles with command, as you would not be surprised to know about this type of player. But if he ends up being a starter, he's going to be pretty good. At the worst case, he's going to become a high leverage reliever. Like, I have no doubt about it.
Well, and Richard Fitz is a little bit the same. Like, he's maybe not quite as big armed, but he's a right-handed pitcher, young kid, going into his age 26 season. He averages about a 96 mile an hour fastball, so he can get it up there. And Chaim Bloom has definitely
clear what's going on here.
Yeah, I was going to say Chaim Bloom has been targeting velocity. Some big talented arms that you could teach some of this other stuff, which is not how the Cardinals have gone about pitching since 2008, 2009. Like, Kyle Loesch was like the last guy that we had that actually had some velo to him. And even then, Kyle Loesch wasn't a burner. But, yeah, like with Liam Doyle drafted this year, I can't remember who our second round pick was, but he was pretty similar. Big, hard throwing pitcher. Like, that's definitely what Chaim Bloom is targeting. So trading Sonny Gray, who is the opposite of that, and expensive, and XYZ, it makes sense that this is kind of what the Cardinals got in return. And there's a lot of control here for Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark. So I guess, yes, I did want to talk about it.
That's what I figured.
Okay, so we'll kind of rapid fire this.
Okay.
3 relief pitchers have signed off of the market already. 2 of them to some pretty big deals here. Actually, I'd say all 3 kind of just some big deals. Ryan Helsley, former Cardinal, big arm, throws fast, to the Orioles for 2 years, $28 million with an opt-out. There's also rumors that they might try and use him as a starter.
No, so that was before he signed. There were rumors that he could potentially be the guy that jumps to the starting rotation. But when he signed with the O's, they basically confirmed that he would be the closer this year because Felix Bautista is out for the season,
Okay.
and he's got that opt out. So basically, he has a chance to go back into free agency next year if he has a good season. Because this past season was kind of rough for Ryan Helsley, especially after he got traded to the Mets.
Yeah.
He was terrible, honestly. Like there's no getting around it, and he's clearly like a very talented, hard throwing reliever. He he led the league in saves. He he's like this is a good deal for both sides. I think he gets some security if he doesn't really bounce back. He's got 2 years and 28 million. The O's get to fill one of their biggest needs in the back end of their bullpen. I like the signing a lot. It's a good move.
Yeah, I really like the signing as well. And we've talked that over and over that pitching is where this team severely lacks. Yes, they still need to go out and get, I don't know, 5 starting pitchers maybe. But shoring up the back end of the bullpen, even when he was not great, Ryan Helsley was still an above average reliever. So yeah, you're maybe not going to get the 2023 and 2024 best reliever in the National League, but he's still a solid pitcher, still throws 103. Like, you can't teach velocity. How many times have I said it today?
You can teach velocity, but you can't teach...
you can't teach 103.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Now, speaking of guys who very much a down season, Devin Williams gets 3 years, $51 million to go across town to the Mets. Based on what we saw last year, why?
Well, I think I'm going to make the case for this deal being a really good one. So even despite Devin Williams' like 4.82 ERA, I think it was, he still had one of the best changeups in the league. Like that pitch remained unhittable, the airbender. And if you look at the rest of Devin Williams' career, this guy's phenomenal. He's one of the best relievers we've seen in like 20 years, essentially. Like he is elite. He just got hit with some really rough BABIP luck, and just it was a weird season. I'm just chalking it up as a complete like fluke, and he's gonna bounce back to his regular levels, and we're not even gonna like consider this deal being an issue. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of right there with you. He still had like insane strikeout rates in the mid to high 30s. He had the best walk rate of his career. Second best walk rate of his career this past season. But yeah, there was just, his whip was high, but his walk rate was low. So
yeah, he's getting hit around. I mean, what was the BABIP? It was
296
this past year, and that's after years where he's normally suppressing all those
mid to low
balls.
2s, actually sub 2 in 2020. So yeah, like he's likely going to rebound, and if the Mets do not re-sign Edwin Diaz, which signing Devin Williams kind of leads me to believe they're probably not going to re-sign Edwin Diaz. They still can, but
they could,
if they don't, most likely they're going to be fine letting Devin Williams take that closer role and basically show the Yankees that they made a poor choice in letting him go.
Yeah, no, I think this is a good one to look at the FIP column. I mean, look at the split in 2025.
Oh, it was over.
He had a 4.79 ERA, and he had a 2.68 FIP, which is right in line with basically every other year of his
career. His xERA was 3.11.
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong.
Okay, so
with Devin Williams.
It wasn't Devin Williams' fault.
No, like he just had a weird season.
He also suppressed the home run pretty well still, too.
Yeah.
This is leading me to believe that the Yankees defense is just awful.
We know that. We're
Well,
well aware.
okay, so I'm going to have to talk to a couple Yankees fans because I'm thinking, yeah, we've got some
It's rough.
conversations to be having.
Yeah.
All right. Rapid fire. Emilio Pagan, Reds, 2 years, 20 mil with an opt out. Good, bad.
Whatever. I mean, he had a good season. I'm not really a big Emilio Pagan fan, but good for him.
Two guys that are trying to get their second chance in MLB. Anthony Kay to the White Sox, 2 years, 12 mil. Cody Ponce, Blue Jays, 3 years, 30 mil coming out of the KBO.
Well, first off, the Anthony K one, I was kind of like, what in the world? Like, this guy got 12 million? Like, I don't actually know what he did in Asia, but I assume he must have had good numbers for the Sox to do this. But wasn't Anthony K a first round pick years ago? Like,
For the Blue Jays, I believe, right?
That sounds right, yeah.
He was okay, so he was a first round pick for the Mets, but then he got traded to Toronto, played in Toronto for 4 years. Didn't really have a regular role. He was just kind of a spot starter and occasional reliever.
The Cody Ponce one, though, that one's fascinating because I don't know if you saw the season this guy had in Korea last year.
I did not.
So
didn't he win their Cy Young or their version of the Cy Young?
He won their MVP. Okay.
Oh, he won their MVP. Okay.
Okay, yeah, he won their MVP. I'm trying to pull up his numbers, but I'm having a hard time.
Wait, did you say Japan or Korea?
So he was in Japan for 3 years, and then this past year, 2025, he was in Korea.
Okay.
And his numbers, okay. So 189 ERA, 17 wins, 1 loss, and he struck out a crazy where is that?
36% of batters.
252 strikeouts in 180 and 2/3 innings. So basically, this guy, I don't know. Do you remember Cody Ponce from his big league tenure?
Vaguely.
I barely remember him. He was on the Pirates
in 2020, right?
Yeah, 2021. He had a 7.04 ERA with the Pirates, and 2020 he had a 3.18 ERA, I guess.
In 3 starts and 2 relief appearances, yeah.
Okay, so he didn't really do a whole lot in his first stint in the majors, but the fact that the Jays gave him 3 years and 30 million, which is the most for any starting pitcher in this situation, like who pitched in MLB, went to Asia, and then came back. So they believe that this is real.
What was Michaelis's first contract back to St. Louis?
It was like a 2-year, $15 million deal or something. It was not huge. But yeah, no, I'm really curious because sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. Because Michaelis is like a success story that obviously went very well in his return. But then, do you remember Josh Lindblom? This guy did the same thing.
I do.
He won the Cy Young or the MVP of KBO, and he came back and was just pretty much a complete bust for the Brewers. So I'll be interested to see how this one turns out.
Okay, very last one. Nationals trade for Harry Ford from Seattle, the catcher prospect who is ready for the majors, and gave up Jose A. Ferrer and Isaac Lyon.
Yeah. I like this trade for both sides because Jose A. Ferrer, he is a live arm. He's a lefty reliever. And I think all these reliever guys, they seem to thrive when they go to Seattle. They kind of know what to do with these guys. He's like a sinker baller, throws super hard and gets ground balls. It seems like a...
Guess what pattern we've been talking about this episode that he follows?
bad ERA, good skills.
Mm-hmm. 448 ERA, 303 FIP.
Yep, I like him a lot. And then Harry Ford, I think the jury's still out whether this guy's actually a catcher, but he's got skills too. He's a
Harry Ford has been a catcher and an outfielder, I think, right?
Yeah, I think they've been trying him out at different positions because he's not like a surefire defensive catcher, but he does have skills as an offensive player. He gets on base a lot. Not sure about the power, but this is exactly the type of guy that the Nationals need to add, because they're not going to miss Jose A. Ferrer. Like, he's a solid reliever, but they're like years away from contention.
I was going to say they need starters and a good lineup before a good reliever is going to move the needle at all.
That's the last thing you got to fill out.
By the way, Harry Ford has actually only played 8 games, not at catcher or DH.
Oh, okay.
And that was 2024 AA. So he likely is going to be a catcher / DH. They might try and move him, but it would be, I don't know if you call it risky, but it would be a rough transition for him right off the bat, is my guess. Okay, so we probably went a little longer there than we should have, given that we have this next part that we wanted to do. But Gautam and I are going to take the free agents that are still available, and we're going to go bargain hunting. We have $15 to spend each. How that $15 is going to be spent, we need a starting pitcher, a relief pitcher, an infielder, an outfielder, and a utility hitter. So that could be an infielder, an outfielder, a DH, just somebody with a bat. So we don't have this on the screen as we're recording. Hopefully we've got it overlaid here. But the $5 tier is anyone who had 4 or more WAR in 2020. What year is it? 2025?
2025, yeah.
In 2025.
Yes.
For $4, you can draft somebody who had 2 to 3.9 2025. WAR. $3, 1 to 1.9 WAR. $2, 0 to 0.9. And then for $1, you can have someone who had an absolutely abysmal season in 2025 and was below replacement level. So, Gautam, I think we need to decide who is going to go first. Evens or odds?
Evens.
4. Would you like to go first, or would you like to give me first pick and potentially screw you?
No, I'm going to pick first if you're giving me that option.
So another important note that I should make, if the player has already signed, he is not allowed.
Okay.
Who is your first pick?
Well, I mean, the first pick, I'm going to take the best free agent, right? I'm going to take Kyle Tucker. So I use $5 here, but we've talked about how wins above replacement don't scale linearly. There's not a lot of these superstar talents out there. I'm going to take the young one. He's 29. He's coming off another 4+ WAR season after doing that for at least 3 straight years. He's an outfielder. There's not a ton of other great outfielders in this free agent class. Like, there's a few, but Tucker is like my safe bet. So I guess I'm taking, it's kind of a boring choice, but he's not a boring player. It's a very safe pick to start my draft here.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that pick a lot. And I'm going to have to change up entirely what I was going to do because the guy
it was all based on Tucker.
Well, no. Actually, it
Oh,
wasn't. It was based on Cedric Mullins, who I have since learned signed a 1 year, $7 million deal with the Rays.
oh, okay,
And
okay.
for the exact reason you pointed out, there's not very many outfielders.
No.
So, oh, wait a minute. Nah, screw it. No, full send. Okay. Taking my starting pitcher with my
Okay.
superstar pick, my $5 pick. I'm taking Ranger Suarez, 30-year-old
Oh, wow.
starting pitcher for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think he's going to end up with a pretty massive contract this year. And he's been incredible. The last 2 years, he has a combined 7.4 WAR. He's not the biggest strikeout guy in the world, striking out about 23% of batters, but he suppresses the walk rate so well. Same with home runs. And his had an ERA in the low threes for the last couple of years. The biggest concern I have with him is his kind of longevity. He's not pitched 30 starts in a season yet in his career, but he's still young. He's very talented. I think I'm taking Ranger Suarez.
Okay. So I've got Tucker, you've got Ranger Suarez, and yeah, I think I sort of overlook Ranger Suarez a lot of times, but yeah, you're right. Like he's really quite good, and I think he's going to get paid a lot more than people think because he's been consistently really good for the Phillies for like 4+ years now. He pretty much has always been good every time he's had the chance to pitch. So good pick. Okay, I gotta get creative here. So think I'm gonna do something that I didn't think I wanted to do, but I'm gonna do this anyways because I think it will cover me for the remaining rounds. I'm gonna take Cody Bellinger because he, I believe, would be eligible for both infield because of his games played at first base this year, which I think he played 3, and
Are we going to
also
count 3 or do we need? No, he played 7, so he definitely
he
counts.
played
I was
7.
going to say, should we set it at 5 before I looked, but he's past that. So yeah, you're good.
Okay, so he either would be my first baseman or infielder, or he can be my utility pick depending on what I do. So I got a little bit of flexibility, and that's a nice thing about Bellinger, that he's quite a good outfielder. He can play center field. He's probably elite in right field or left field for your team. And we talked about the Yankees defense. They would be they're going to be in even bigger trouble if they don't sign Cody Bellinger to a deal, because he's one of the few players on their roster that actually like gives them good defense. And I think that's going to be a concern going forward unless they can go sign a bunch of defensive players, but I don't really see that happening because you got to get this combination of offense and defense. That's Bellinger. He's a complete player. He gives you kind of the defense, good offense. He had a great season this past year with the Yankees, and then he can run the bases well still, and he's only 30. So that's another reason why I like Cody Bellinger for this exercise. But now I've spent $10.
I was going to say, I was thinking about doing something similar, not for Cody Bellinger actually, but that's a bold strategy and I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to step down a tier. I actually only want one superstar. I'm going to go into what I'm considering to be like the all-star range. That would be that 2 to 4 WAR. And so I'm actually going to take, because my pitcher is so good at suppressing runs, I'm going to take a guy to score me runs. I don't care about defense. We're going Pete Alonso for $4.
Oh, okay.
So Pete Alonso, going into his age 32 season, he's a guy who is pretty much a power only guy. He's got a decent average for a modern day first baseman, a career 253, which for a power guy, 253 right now is actually pretty good. Last year, he hit 272 with 38 home runs. You're always getting 35 or more. 24, he actually came in with 34, but I'm going to say that he got robbed by at least one stadium.
Okay.
So I'm going Pete Alonso. I think that the Mets would be stupid not to re-sign him. And by the same logic, I think I would be stupid not to pay him $4.
Okay.
Also,
So
he's got wheels. He had a stolen base last year.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't teach speed. You can't teach velocity.
You can't teach velocity.
Okay, so I am going to have to skip a couple tiers here because I'm running out of money here. And I'm very happy you didn't take my sleeper pick for starting pitching. And my pick here is Michael King, who had where is he on this list? 0.8 WAR last season, and it's sort of cheating because he was injured for quite a while, but it's the reality of his season, and it's gonna reflect like that in the amount of money he's gonna receive. Because if Michael King was a free agent at the end of 2024, he probably would have had a huge, massive, like 7-year deal or something, because he was fantastic in that season. And it was his first year as a full-time starter after several years as a reliever in New York, at which he transitioned to being a starter, and then he was part of the Juan Soto deal. I like Michael King to bounce back because I think he's going to get hopefully better health this upcoming season, and he's a guy that like bet on himself to be able to make that transition. Even though he was a successful reliever, he wanted to be a starter. I like that aspect of his career arc, and he's solid. Like, go back to 2024, it's not that long ago, he was one of the best pitchers in the National League. So my pick for $2 is Michael King.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I'm going to take a page out of your playbook, and I'm going to spin big. Okay. So Pete Alonso is actually my utility guy. He's not my infielder. He's going in at DH for me because, well, he's not that great of a fielder. To help out Ranger Suarez, I need a guy at the hot corner, right? Gotta have a good player at the hot corner. While I don't think that he's the best third baseman that we have had on the free agent market in the last couple years, I still think he's one of the best, and that is Alex Bregman. I'm going to take Alex Bregman for $4, putting me at a total of $13 for 3 of my picks. Meaning I'm going dollar bin hunting for a reliever and an outfielder. But Alex Bregman, we talked about him last week as well. He is a very, very well-rounded player. He's got about 20 home run pull power. He is a great defender. He does not strike out hardly ever. And he doesn't have an elite hit tool. He's not a 300 hitter, but he is in that 270 range most years. So because of how well-rounded he is, I'm going to assume that my team of 5 guys plays in a right-handed hitter-friendly park. um, such as Boston. So I'm going to take Alex Bregman. And yeah.
Okay. Okay, so
Now's where it gets hard.
Now, yeah, exactly. So we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Um, I'm having some difficulties trying to decide between a couple guys, but I am going to go with a unique talent for my utility spot. And that guy, he has one of the most interesting free agency cases of any player because he has few comps. And that player is Luis Arias. He's basically like a one-tool player as opposed to a Bellinger or a Tucker where they do a lot of things well. Arias, he hits, and he hits a lot. He hits for batting average, and that's clearly the standout skill of his profile because he doesn't really run well. He doesn't play good defense. He's kind of a first baseman DH type, but he's got a rare skill in the form of his elite contact. And he kind of had a poor season last year, and WAR doesn't maybe like fully tell the story of Luis Arias. He had a 0.9 last season, so he's another $2 guy for me. But that's the worst year that he's had in several years, in the last 5 years. Really, it was kind of the worst season of his career in some ways, but he still was above average as a hitter, and he brings a skill set that you cannot find a lot of. So I'm going to take Arias here.
All right. I like that. I'm going to take a kind of similar player in that he's kind of really just like a one-tool guy at this point. And he had an abysmal year last year. He actually got non-tendered this season. So that's why he's a free agent. But he's only got 3 years of service time. And this is MJ Melendez, formerly of the Kansas City Royals, to be my outfielder. So MJ Melendez has kind of been all over the place as far as his hitting ability. His rookie season in 129 games, he was right about league average as a hitter. He had 18 home runs. He was hitting like 220, walked a ton. 23, he continued to walk a ton, 16 more home runs, but he was striking out more, but he got his average up. And his BABIP was up at 311. And since then, his BABIP has been as low as 0.111 in 2025 in 23 games. That is crazy low. I don't anticipate him to be minus 14 WRC plus again. But he is a decent outfielder in the corners. I would not put him in center field, but if you put him in left field, I think he's a solid defensive left fielder. And so I'm going to take MJ Melendez with the hopes that he's still only 27. He has in the past been a fairly good prospect. He was a second round pick in 2017. Like, there's clearly some talent there. If he can get some coaching in a system that's not Kansas City, I think that he might be able to flourish and become a solid, maybe just a bench guy, but like a solid replacement level or major league ball player.
Okay. I used all my resources for figuring out who my last pick is. And I got to get a reliever here. And I'm going cheap on a reliever, just like a lot of teams do, where they don't really like to spend up for Edwin Diaz or Devin Williams or whatever. A few teams will do that, but a lot of teams are filling out their roster with bounce back guys, hidden gem type guys. I'm going to pick a guy that does have a track record, though, but he is getting quite old, and that would be Kirby Yates. who pitched this past season with the Dodgers, but it was not a good season. He had a 5.23 ERA. Um, I guess I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it looks like home runs were an issue. Uh, just not stranding as many batters as he usually does in a year, not getting ground balls. So maybe Kirby Yates' career is over, but he's only like a year away from one of his best seasons ever, where he pitched to a 117 ERA with a crazy strikeout rate. And like, I don't know, like I'm just kind of betting on track record here. When he got that splitter going, like Kirby Yates is pretty much unhittable.
Yeah, Kirby Yates has had an incredible career, and I would expect that he would have a little bit of a bounce back this year. I need you to keep talking for a moment while I make a final choice here.
So you got to scrape the bottom of the barrel here, because when you look at the list of negative WAR guys, they're not exactly going to be the guys that are going to be commanding multi-year deals or even multi-million-dollar deals. Like, they're truly probably the last guys that sign as we head into free agent or into spring training. But there's still benefits to be had, because if you do hit on one of these guys, then you're feeling really good about the signing you've made.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you help me pick between two guys, or three guys, I guess.
Okay.
Not a great track record. Very, very talented physical arm. Really good track record, down year, or somewhere in the middle.
Was Gregory Santos one of those guys?
No.
Oh, I just saw him on the list. I feel like I like that pick, but I would go on the talent side, I guess.
The talent side.
Fall.
So this is going to very much backfire, because two different teams have tried this, and it's Genesis Cabrera, actually. The guy is young. I think he really deserves. Well, I say he's young. He's going into his age 30 season now, but he has one hell of an arm. He's able to hit the 101, 102 when he's really pushing it. But he's had a major command problem in his career. At his best, he was striking out guys at a clip of 33%. But that same season, he was walking guys at a 17% rate. Like, there's somewhere in the middle here that I kind of feel like he needs to find, but he has so much natural arm talent that I think with the right pitching coaches and the right team, he could be able to figure that out. My other guys that I was thinking about, by the way, were Jordan Romano. He's the very long track record, not good year. And Johnny Lasagna is the somewhere in between. So, and really, I think that all three of those guys will be on a team this year. Genesis Cabrera is actually the one I'm least sure will be on a team. But I do still think that he has a lot there. It's just incredibly raw. And being that incredibly raw at 29 years old, chances are low that you're going to figure it out. But if you do, it's kind of the same as a Alek Manoah situation, where it's low risk, high reward.
Yep. And that's the case for a lot of these relievers. And I'm mad that I didn't pick Gregory Santos, because he's only 26.
Is he?
I don't
really?
even know why he's a free agent, to be honest. But
did he
he's
get
only
non-tendered?
pitched, like, must have been, but he only pitched 14 innings in the last 2 years. I know there was injury in there, but if you go back to 2023 with the White Sox, he was great. He pitched 66 innings, averaged 98.8 on his fastball, and had a 265 FIP. Like, this guy could be an elite reliever, but maybe, I mean, the Mariners clearly don't think that because they let him go free.
Okay, they non-tendered him with a knee injury.
Oh, okay. So he's not healthy.
Yeah. So, which I guess that makes sense, but
I feel like we should track how we do this year. Like, which group is going to have more WAR for the 2026 season? So I've got Tucker, Bellinger, Michael King, Arise, and Yates.
God, you should have told me that before I took Cabrera.
Hey, it's your team. I was trying to make the best team. I don't know what you were trying to do.
I was trying to talk about some guys that don't get love.
Okay.
But, all right. Well, so I spent exactly $15. I got 2 All-Stars in Alonso and Bregman, a superstar in Ranger Suarez, and then 2 lottery tickets that are currently non-tendered. Not natural free agents, non-tendered. Actually, I think Cabrera might have been a real free agent. Yeah, Cabrera's a real free agent. No. He cleared waivers in elected free agency. He has 5.149 years of service time. So he is ARB eligible this year and kind of got screwed. But all right, cool. Well, we will figure out a way for us to track this. I think it might be interesting to revisit this like once a month.
Yeah.
We'll just as a hey, here's how it's going. Yeah. So thank you all very much for hanging out with us. Hopefully the screen looks all pretty whenever it's or for you guys here. But we'll see you very soon. The winter meetings are almost here. Things are going to start getting a little bit fun. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcasting app or YouTube to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Getaway Day Pod. If you enjoy card collecting, check out our sister YouTube channel at Getaway Day Cards.